Welcome back, and this is Wisconsin Shoe Guy. And today we're going to talk about dark suede shoes. And as you look at the screen in front of you, you'll notice a few things. Sometimes dark suede is pretty popular as a combination with smooth leather. So you see here with a museum calf, you see here with this beautiful mahogany calf. You see here where it's the moccasin portion of a split toe. There's a lot of different ways of doing it, but I'm going to take the combinations out for a moment so that we can stay focused on the main shoes, and then I'll come back to the combinations later. So the first thing that we're going to talk about is waxy suede, which is here. Give it a second to focus. Now, waxy suede is really unlike suede because it's not very soft. It really is heavily waxed, and it doesn't require any care for the most part. At some point, I will need to figure out some way of nourishing these, but they are still relatively new. And these are from Bordeaux in Colombia, and just a really interesting boot. But you can get waxy suede. Crockett & Jones has quite a few shoes in waxy suede. There's a lot of it out in the market, and there's some just really fine examples of it out there. Now, other suedes to look at, and you can see the shades of these are all a little different, which is why we call the series the Shades of Suede, because as you get into any kind of coloring with suede, the maker can do the coloring, the tannery can do the coloring, and there can be all kinds of variations. So here is a beautiful dark brown suede from Macariello. This is a chocolate suede from Alfred Sargent. This is kind of like I liken it to chocolate that's been around too long. It's a very interesting, almost like a gunmetal brown suede. And this is from Aubersey. This is your chocolate suede, a little bit different tone, and that's from Corthay. This is a very interesting chocolate suede. This is from Crockett & Jones. Here's the TLB color, again, very different. A pair from Acme, right? Very different still. There's a few tones of red in this, but not heavily. And then here, this is a higher pile suede from Parabit. So as you look at these, there are different welts. These are actually summer suede shoes. These are cemented. Acme does a series of this like this that are more approachable from a price perspective, and they cannot be resold. Of course, for summer suede shoes and somebody with a collection like mine, that's not necessarily as important as the quality of the leather and the quality of the work that they do on the shoe, which is actually really, really fine. Even the sole itself, they did the toe plates, really, really nice work, but it is a cemented shoe. The rest are all Goodyear welted, with the exception that the Macariellos are hand welted. Now, as we look at this, though, there's a lot of different styles here, which we'll go ahead and talk about. As you can see, different styles that go with this dark brown. Now, dark brown goes with anything except black, and these gunmetal ones have enough of a gray tone to them where you could probably get away with that, although I probably would just stick with black shoes with black slacks. But you can see as the focus gets in here, this has this really, really cool medallion. The medallion shows up really, really well against this color, and the broguing does as well, and your typical wingtip in terms of a pattern. Now here, this is just a plain cap-toe Oxford. This medallion is much harder to see, even close up. And again, straight, typical cap-toe. No muss, no fuss. Now, very, very small brogue holes, very interesting design, but a typical round last. This has more of a soft square, not even really a soft square. It's rounded, but it's kind of an oblong round. Now this is the hawksbill last from Macariello, and we'll go there. Again, very, very interesting broguing. And of course this beautiful toe, which is indicative of the hawksbill, and just very, very interesting shoe. This is an Adelaide in the traditional sense. This is a Principus, not a Principus 2 or 3, just a Principus. But a very, very great example. And brand new, have not worn those yet. Now, this is a single leather sole. This is a single leather sole. This is a double leather sole. Now, speaking of single leather soles, we have this one. Now, this is a relatively famous shoe if you're into high-end shoes. This is a Corte Arca, and I don't think it likes focusing from that direction. Let me try it here. There we go. And this is just a beautiful, beautiful suede. Now, with this particular design, the fit has to be really, really good. This is what I call a high vamp derby. Sometimes you can call them a 2-eye. Again, I gotta go lower there for this, but it's a very interesting shoe, but a very, very interesting fit. And then the rest of these are split toes. Now, the Paraboot has got these big chunky soles, like so, and has a Norwegian welt with the actual welt. This is a machine welt, not a hand welt, and a machine stitched upper, an apron, reverse toe. Now this is a Hardwick from Crockett & Jones, also machine stitched, has a city sole on it, well, their city sole, relatively unique to Crockett & Jones, but a different type of stitch here at the top, even though it is still machine stitched. Then you have the TLB with a really interesting pie crust apron and toe in the way that it has been set up. Just a really, really interesting as it goes. And then we have, this is a French apron, but an elongated one on the Acme. Now the Crockett & Jones is one type of double top line, okay, where the Paraboot is a different type of double top line because it comes up to the heel. It doesn't wrap around as a double. So as you get more into shoes, you'll start to notice some of these finer details, but all of these really don't impact what you can wear them with. The soles do, so the thicker soles are much less formal. So like the Paraboots with these huge rubber chunky soles, I probably would not wear with business dress. Though the others, you can probably get away with it, especially in fall weather. And of course the Arcas, the Principes, these Captos from Alfred Sargent's, and the wingtips you can easily get away with all the time. So suede adds texture to what you're wearing. So a very, very short suede like this was just Janus. This is a really nice reverse Janus. These are all Janus, right? So those are probably your most formal, where it's very, where you can brush it and it changes a lot. That is going to be your more casual. And where it's actually fuzzy, that's going to be your most casual. So now this is a Rapello suede. And Rapello suede means that they've actually, in the tannery, treated the suede so that it won't stain. And that's there. Now, I've personally never had problems with suede staining. The worst things that's ever happened has been that I've nailed it with a pen. And in those cases, I've simply used my suede eraser and it's come clean. You can have suede shampoo. There's a suede renovateur, which is very heavily pigmented, which will also work, although it's more this color, not this color. So that can be a little bit of a difference that you have to keep an eye on. I would recommend not using that on the dining room table, as spouses tend to very, very heavily frown on ruining tables, and it's very dark. So let's get back to the combination. So combination can be any color you want. This is my only pair with this really, really dark suede in this really, really short pile like this. This feels like it's more of a split suede, but still very nice and pretty versatile. My derbies here, these are October 10s. This is also Janus suede, and extremely nice. Now this is, you can actually brush this nicely too. It's quite old. I've had them, well, quite old for my collection. It's only a few years because I did change sizes, and so I had to purge most of my shoes. But it is a very nice pile on that Janus. And then my dressiest combination of all is this, which is a very unique split toe Oxford. And the Oxford line is actually the lacing, the facing actually goes through the combination, which is very, very interesting. And this is from Cheney, and this is of course his museum calf, really providing a nice contrast in the texture and color. So a lot you can do as you look at you know, collecting and really trying to choose the perfect pair of suede shoes. I hope that this has given you some options to think about. This is Wisconsin Shoe Guy. Thanks a lot, and I'm out.